we're entitled to disagree and disagree very vehemently. I think the court, in conducting the proceedings during the hearing, I think they were patient. They listened to us. It is only the outcome that we do not agree with. Finally, I think our clients, the two petitioners, Raila Amolo Odinga and Martha Karua, may be addressing another press conference, but we are happy to talk to you on this issue.
And have a watertight case, but we saw them talking about forgeries and wild goose chase. Did that surprise you?
No, I mean forgeries. When the DCI, the Director of Criminal Investigations, what we put before the court, a lot of it was from an agency of government. I didn't see them talking about similar incidents in matters concerning the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. That's why I was saying it was a little ideological. They were looking for things on which to destroy our case, but similarly not taking sufficient time to look at what happened on the other side. And that will be another story for another day.
Would you admit you might not have been well prepared for this case?
We were very well prepared. I think compared to 2017, we were a lot more well prepared.
What would be the 2 or 3 points of mistake that you say the court might have made mistake on that? Fundamental.
In 50% plus 1, I think they were ideological. We are using the baseline of total registered voters in the land as against those who turned out to vote. If you read any legal material on what should be a turnout, including the Black's Law Dictionary, turnout is normally based on the registered members in a country as against those who turn out to vote. So there are so many other examples we can take up.
And seeing what is your take, given you lost on all grounds?
Yeah?
On all the key 8 issues you lost.
The issues that the court formulated, but we're quite happy to live with it and talk about it another time. Philip, would you want to say something?
Just on the idea that we lost on all 8-9 points, we find it incredible that that could be the holding of the court. In more than several of those cases, we had overwhelming evidence. As my senior counsel, Mr. Orengo says, the servers were not opened. The involvement of the Venezuelans for a full month before, half a month before the elections and up to the 16th of August was not explained. No, it wasn't even offered. We perhaps are a little distressed on the over-reliance of a registrar's report that has no input from us. That report was completely silent on the failure to open the servers. The servers, repeat, the servers have all the answers. The exact role, we provided evidence that the Venezuelans were downloading documents, creating documents and generating documents. None of that was touched. But as my colleague says, we hope they'll address all this in the final judgment. As somebody has said, it's incredible that we could lose on all points and they could win on all points. But as Senior has explained, it's probably the ideological aspect of this judgment.
Are you still confident on the 21st?
No. They have tied their hands. They can't get out of it. They have given their final decision. It's now a question of them finding the reasons for those findings and justifying them. It's not always easy, but I think they have some time to do it.
The other thing that I found a little bit disturbing is the presentation of the Form 34A by somebody I really respect as an advocate, Julie Soweto. It was described as hot hair, but you could see when that evidence was being adduced before the court, how engaged even the justices were. So I found it rather odd for them to describe it as hot air. I think that's why I'm saying this is ideological, because they would have said on the evidence presented we find there was more weight as to the evidence which was adduced by the other side. But to say that it was hot air and it was a document coming from the Electoral Commission, I found it very, very disturbing.
If I may explain a little further on that point made by Julie Soweto in the petition, that gentleman, Camargo's name was not supposed to be on Form 34A. If at all he was involved in this election, he was involved on the technology side. So to find it anywhere near a Form 34A raised more questions than answers. There was silence. And of course, on the issue of the famous 34A that Julie was describing, it was found to have been signed by the agents of UDA and UDM on the 7th, which is before the elections. No mention was made of that. So many things, many questions, perhaps more questions than answers, but it is the decision of the court. They have to live with it just as we have. Is that all? Thank you.
Agenda, may want to say something. Okay. Sawa.
Well, that is the first press conference held by the petitioner's lawyer, Raila Odinga's lawyers. They are led by Senior Counsel James Orengo and Philip Murgor. And as I said, is that they are opposed to that judgment. Let's hear what the Nyeri governor has to say in regards to the same, but we will be crossing over there to know exactly their sentiments or sampling some of the sentiments of leaders. As you have seen, Uasin Gishu is packed, as you can see on your screen. There are also, as you can see, in Nyeri as well. Earlier on, we had a live feed from the president-elect residents in Karen, but the live picture that you can see on your screen is live from Uasin Gishu, where it is the home of the president-elect William Ruto. And indeed, as you can see, they have braved the rain to just listen up to the whole judgment by the 7 judges, and they are elated. As you can see, earlier on they were dancing to that, but as the lawyers representing the petitioner have talked about, is that despite the overwhelming evidence, they say that without any fear of contradiction, they do not agree with the decision and say that mistakes are to be corrected over time, challenged availing of election materials for comprehensive audit, but they say that they will look at the judgment keenly after the 21 days that the judges have talked about, so that they may give a more detailed report on the same. They say they were more prepared than the year 2017. Ray, they say that they were even more prepared than 2017.
Yes.
And looking at all the issues were trended on by the 7 apex judges for a unanimous decision as well.
Indeed. And yes, Troy, yes, that is something that has come up there from Senior Counsel James Orengo there, who was leading a contingent of at least 42 lawyers, for the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition there, putting off some of the prayers that they wanted. And they're saying, well, history has taught them something else, something new. In as much as they were prepared, well, it did not go their way. And they have picked that issue that all they have not even have had a single win or reprieve in all the 9 issues that the Supreme Court judges were making a decision on, and they said they even had some quite weighty evidence in some of the prayers that they sought. Remember, the question is, one of the issues was whether there was interference in the uploading of the transmission of the Form 34A from the polling stations to the IEBC public portal. This being the second issue that was they were seeking to have a judgment all. However, according to the Supreme Court judges there, who are unanimous in their decision that saw the upholding of William Ruto as president-elect, that no credible evidence was presented to show interference, as well as they went further, the judges went further to just say that even with the findings of the scrutiny of 14 polling stations, there was no evidence, and that all the forms that were uploaded at the portal vis-a-vis what they found after scrutiny of the 14 polling stations is that the documents that were uploaded by the IEBC portal vis-a-vis what was found after that scrutiny that was ordered by the Supreme Court is that the documents were original and did tally. Then also they said that another issue that took is that whether there were unexplainable discrepancies between the votes cast for the presidential candidate and other elective positions, while declaring the judgment there that are reading out the judgment is that yet this is an
that their findings are illegal because they are the only two alternatives, either to validate or invalidate the elections. That is the power that is within 21 days. We will be able to read the entire judgment and try to see the recommendations brought by the Supreme Court. These recommendations may be done by the government, IEBC, which is an independent organ, or our parliament, because some may require legal amendments. The other thing I would like to say is that courts do not conduct elections. It is the IEBC, and therefore it would be unreasonable to expect the Supreme Court to declare any person as elected. Finally, Ben, I would like to say that now we have leaders, and congratulations for the leaders who have been elected. What we need now is to embrace constitutionalism, core values whereby the leaders are able to adhere to the rule of law, to embrace the good ideas of governance, core values, integrity, and to act in good faith, because they have a time to serve Kenyans. And for Kenyans, this is the time now, I want to say, back to green. We go back to our usual activities, our day-to-day, because at the end of the day, people of Kenya are the sovereign according to our constitutions. So we have to embrace peace, we have to be, brotherly and sisterly, and ensure that no violence or any activities that may affect our peace. Perhaps I would take this opportunity to say congratulations to our president-elect, who will be sworn on 13th of September, which is a public holiday by dint of the presidential assumption office.
And just a quick one. What stood out for you as a lawyer and in regards to that judgment, and bearing in mind that all judges affirmed and all issues were thrown out?
Yes, one thing that came out very clearly is the unanimous judgment. It is very rare to find the judges agreeing on every aspect, every issue in the pleadings. The second thing is their analysis and their findings in all the issues. It came out very well. They were able to link the role of IEBC as a body corporate, where they raised issues of technical team. Remember, returning officers, presiding officers, the technical team, and many persons play a part. So it is one body corporate. And the way they were able to interpret Section 138, subsection 3C, which refers to IBC to render credible and transparent elections vis-a-vis Article 138, subsection 10, that gives the chairperson power to declare presidential elections. The other thing is, of course, the issue of irregularities and the standards to annul or invalidate elections. Remember, election matters have higher standard than in civil matters, where it is balance of probabilities, and lower standards in criminal matters, where it is beyond reasonable doubt. And the judge is saying allegations of fraud, criminality, and so on are matters
tumeapa sote wenye nchi ya Kenya kutumikia Kenya daima na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Wenye nchi Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Sitaiacha Kenya nchi yangu. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Umoja wetu Kenya tudumishe. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Sitadanganywa kamwe na porojo. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Zenye kuleta chuki kati yetu. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Nitatetea haki za Wakenya. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Wala sitakubali ukabila. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Sitaharibu mali ya wengine. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Na majirani wangu nitalinda. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Wenye nchi wenzangu, Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Wenye nchi, Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda. Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda. Kenya nchi tunayoipenda. Kenya nchi tunayoipenda.
But everything to have had, actually, if we just go back to what Orengo, Senior Counsel Orengo said, and also Philip Murko there, part of the team there, they said that in some areas they had concrete evidence.
This evidence did not move the court that indeed it was qualitative enough. They came with a lorry full of evidence, but it was not qualitative enough. Because if you listen to Mother Kome read the judgment, she was very articulate that this was the allegation on this petition. This is the response we got, and we didn't find it. And then she goes on to qualify their statement that we looked at it from both ways. Some of them were actually realized to be, and then the key issues which they were relying on were actually sensationalized, which is really unfortunate because it's good for the media, but as a legal mind, from where I stood, I only told people, I only hoped that, because you are trying to annul the will of the people, you need to come with alternative numbers. There were no alternative numbers. That's where, for me, key for me was point number 5 and point number 7. Once those ones did not meet the threshold, I knew this thing was already gone. Yes.
What is the likely fate of IEBC going forward, looking at the recommendations that has been made by the Apex Court in regard to that there needs to be, a review, so to speak, reforms are required within the IEBC? What impact will this recommendation, is it likely to have?
I will only wait for the judgment in 21 days, I think, if I'm not wrong, Matakome said, to see what kind of recommendations they are giving. Because for me, IBC is at the center, is the man at the center of this election, and we need them to act in concert. So we need to actually demarcate the role of the chairman and the commission vis-a-vis the commissioners, because that's where the big issue came. We didn't have any issue with the commission, which was telling and verifying. And then the aspect that who is given what, because Nyangaya was trying to state that I'm the one in charge of IT, but I was not involved. So those are some of the issues we want set out. Is it that once you've been given a role, what is your district? Now we have to do in-house our housekeeping for the IBC, and that's really unfortunate for us because we expect them to do that for themselves.
Now let's have a listen into what is happening on ground. These are just various sights and scenes. We are currently in Eldoret, which happens to be in Uasin Gishu County, County 027 there, and as you can see, Kenyans have come out in significant numbers, so to speak, and they're celebrating. We understand there were some showers, but this did not keep them out from celebrating here. That the Apex Court there, 7 judges have unanimously upheld the election of William Ruto as president-elect. and we expect in the next 7 days he's going to be sworn in. 7 days from now is going to be the 13th of September.
Kilio nchini Kenya, watu wote tuliona huzuni mwingi sana. Wakina baba, kina mama na watoto wote walilia machozi wakisema
hakuna kujiapisha. Baba na sisi tunakulanga KDF. Haya, sasa KDF hakuna mwenye inakuwa nusu. Haya, baba kuna nusu tukate. Nataka muwapatie ile wimbo ya William. Ya kusema Bwana sehemu yangu, rafiki yangu wewe katika safari ya.
Yeah, indeed, those are live pictures from Uasin Gishu.
Kurudi na katiba ya nchi yetu hapa Kenya. Mzee tu alituomba tusahau yaliyopita, badala yake tuijenge nchi yetu. Asante baba wetu.
An opinion and also just some sights and sounds and also reactions of residents in Kirinyaga, where as you can see they just celebrating. We heard Uasin Gishu and in Nyeri. I saw somebody ask what the
ni fahari yetu, undugu ndio nguvu, chuki na ukabila hatutaki hata kamwe. Lazima tuungane, tuijenge nchi yetu, pasiwe hata moja anayetenganisha. Naishi na tumaini, najitolea daima Kenya. Hakika ya bendera ni uthabiti wangu, nyeusi ya wananchi na nyekundu ni ya damu, kijani ni ya ardhi, nyeupe ya amani. Daima mimi Mkenya, mwananchi mzalendo. Kwa uchungu na mateso, kwa vilio na huzuni, tulinyakuliwa uhuru na mashujaa wa zamani. Hawakushtushwa na risasi au kufungwa gerezani, nia yao ukombozi, kuvunja pingu za ukoloni. Naishi na tumaini, najitolea daima Kenya. Hakika ya bendera ni uthabiti wangu, nyeusi ya wananchi na nyekundu ni ya damu, kijani ni ya ardhi, nyeupe ya amani. Daima mimi Mkenya, pwani, kaskazini na kusini.
Are you worried about taking paracetamol on an empty stomach? Know how to take care. Panadol starts working in 15 minutes, is gentle on your stomach and leaves your body naturally. Effective on pain, gentle on you. Take Panadol, take care.
Ni fahari yetu, undugu ndio nguvu, chuki na ukabila hatutaki hata kamwe. Lazima tuungane, tuijenge nchi yetu, pasiwe hata mmoja anayetenganisha. Naishi na tumaini, najitolea daima Kenya. Hakika ya bendera ni uthabiti wangu, nyeusi ya wananchi na nyekundu ni ya damu, kijani ni ya ardhi, nyeupe ya amani. Daima mimi Mkenya, mwananchi mzalendo. Kwa uchungu na mateso, kwa vilio na huzuni, tulinyakuliwa uhuru na mashujaa wa zamani. Hawakushtushwa na risasi au kufungwa gerezani. Nia yao ukombozi, kuvunja pingu za ukoloni. Naishi na tumaini, najitolea daima Kenya. Hakika ya bendera ni uthabiti wangu, nyeusi ya wananchi na nyekundu ni ya damu, kijani ni ya ardhi, nyeupe ya amani. Daima mimi Mkenya, mwananchi mzalendo. Wajibu wetu ni kuishi kwa upendo, kutoka ziwa mpaka pwani, kaskazini na kusini. daima mimi Mkenya, mwananchi mzalendo. Your turn. Just the ladies now. Here we go. And just the men. Here we go. Oh, oh. Yeah. Break it down. Ladies, don't you love it when the men sing? Isn't it? It's got so much. What? Let me teach you how to sing this in a couple of other languages. We're saying I'm waiting for you. We're saying I love you. So I'm going to teach you how to sing it in the wonderful language of the Luo. Here we go. Anariti, Jaheranam, your turn. In Kipsigis, Achamin, Chepchumba, Achamin, your turn. In Kigusi, Kwandete, oh, Kwandete, your turn. Now, does anyone want to hear it in their language? How do I say I love you in language X? In Spanish, te amo. And how do I say my love? Te amo, my love. How do I say my love? Mi amor. Te amo, mi amor, te amo, your turn. Now, this wonderful lady here, Claudia Kirchner, took us to the wonderful town of Kirchheim, which is how you say it if you're from the area. If you just speak normal German, you say Kirchheim. Kirchheim. And so we're going to say it in German, right? Ich liebe dich or ich liebe dich.
32 watoe uamuzi kama huo kwa mtu yeyote ambaye atakuwa hajaridhika. Na kwa wale ambao walikuwa wamepeleka hii kesi mahakamani, walikuwa wamesema wanataka kujua ukweli. Wako tayari kukubali matokeo, lakini wajue ukweli. Ukweli wameambiwa, na kama hawajaambiwa, naomba mahakama iwapelekee copies ya ile judgment yao, wasome waelewe, ili watumie hii judgment kujirekebisha kwa sababu ya kesho.
Natarajia uongozi wa William Ruto hapa katika kaunti ya Mombasa itabadili nini?
Natarajia uongozi wa Ruto ufuate manifesto namna alivyotuambia, asiende nje ya manifesto yake, na hata kama itakuwa na maana kwamba ushuru uongezeke kwa watu ili apate kutekeleza manifesto yake, tuko tayari.
Asante. Niambie tu, unaitwa nani? Umepokeaje? Uko wapi kwanza? Uko kwa huzuni ama umefurahia?
Mimi nimepokea haya matokeo kwa furaha, kwa sababu hivyo ndio nilikuwa natarajia na hivyo ndio imetokea. Lakini ile ningeweza kusema kwamba katika election hakuna ruhusa. All of us we are winners, because mwenye amechaguliwa hawezi kuja kuongoza watu wa UDA na watu ni ataongoza wa Kenya kwa uchumura. Na sisi Kenya tuwajua hii nchi imeenda mpaka uchumi umeenda chini kabisa, na huo uchumi tukienda kwa supermarket hatuna watu wa ODM, hatuna watu wa Simio, sisi wote ni familia moja. Kwa hivyo tunatarajia kiongozi ameingia mamlakani, especially Kenya tuko na brokers wengi, ambapo unaangalia katika kila sehemu. Kama hapa Mombasa tuna familia ambao zina control Mombasa. Tunataka Kenya kama ni election tunaenda, iwe si election ya family fulani inakuja inasema tunataka kupiga nini, tunataka kucheza hiyo nini. Tuwe ni mtu yoyote ambaye anaweza simama achaguliwe, kama vile tumeona kwamba Anasura Kanikamu. Ukiangalia katika Levity vile kuna watu mpaka walikuwa wanaenda na mkokoteni, sasa ni wabunge. Kwa hivyo ile naweza kusema ni kwamba zote ni washindi.
Asante. Those are just sentiments of the residents of Mombasa. One key point that I have noted is that there is no winner or loser in this race, and that every side, depending whether
It's time. DCC Islam welcomes you to a soul-winning mission. Happening on 10th and 11th September at Chokar. It's here, it's big, it's a mission to champion Jesus. You are invited. Kingdom matters. It is time.
Live, Eastlight TV, a humble home for all.